Good afternoon and welcome to BUTV News at Noon. I'm Lauren Westberg.
And I'm Nikita Sampath, leading the news at this hour. Today, we are now buried with more than 100 inches of snow in Boston. Last night's snowfall means that the Boston area is enduring its second snowiest winter with 100.2 inches of accumulation. That's only about half a foot short of the record snow during 1995-96 season. We'll have the forecast later in this newscast. The commute to work this morning was a real nightmare with delays on the commuter rail and the MBTA. Accidents on the highways caused traffic to really slow down. The commute from the North Shore into Boston took nearly double the usual time. On the MBTA, the E branch of the Green Line between Brigham Circle and Heath Street is suspended until further notice. The D line is experiencing minor delays on eastbound trains.
South of town 24, very heavy getting into Brockton because of an accident and a spin out here by Route 123. Route 3 slow from Weymouth to Braintree. Also 2 accidents by Neponset Circle on the southbound side of the expressway. A crash right here involving an overturned car 290 eastbound at 190. Another accident eastbound right over by Vernon Street. And then north of town, a multi-car crash along Route 2 by 110. And another accident on Route 2 eastbound by 190. Traveling southbound 93, heavy out of Methuen, pretty much all the way down to the Lever Connector. And also still on a modified weekday schedule for the commuter rail.
There is more than just snow piling along the streets of Boston. Garbage is not getting picked up. Thousands of residents are complaining that there have been no garbage trucks for as long as 2 to 3 weeks. BUTV News reporter Christina Loeb is live in Boston with the latest on all this trash talk.
Thanks, Lauren. As you can see beside me, there are several random trash bags and litter all over just this one snowbank. Residents have taken to the city's Citizen Connect app to post their complaints. I'm taking a look at the app now, and just about 45 minutes ago, there are 3 back-to-back complaints ranging anywhere from Roxbury to East Boston. Between the app and the mayor's hotline, residents have filed over 4,000 trash-related requests, and officials have said only about 200 of those have been addressed. Earlier this morning, we went out to take a look at the problem throughout the city.
With already a record-breaking 99.9 inches, the Boston winter continues to dump snow, leaving residents difficulty dumping trash. A number of city services have been crippled by the ongoing snowfall, one in particular, trash collection. Garbage bags and trash litter the snowbanks throughout the city, and residents are beginning to feel frustration and neglect.
I live in South Boston, and right now we can't even get to our trash barrels. We just have bags of trash that are pretty much right on the sidewalk, and we have to throw them out every single night before trash pickup. They don't really do a great job of picking up the trash itself, so there's kind of trash, everywhere all over the street. Bags will rip open and stuff. So it's just been a pain.
It's definitely a problem. People need to, I know it's an issue with all the snow, but it does need to be taken care of.
Piles of litter also limit the already cramped space pedestrians have to walk on city sidewalks where snow mounds have taken over. Residents are being urged to be patient while the ongoing snow and trash removal battle don't seem to be resolved anytime soon.
The mayor is asking for residents' cooperation as the city continues to recover from the historic amounts of snow that we've seen. Public Works is also asking that residents place their trash in accessible locations to help speed up the process. Reporting live from Boston for BUTV 10, I'm Christina Loeb.
The Boston Globe is reporting that a disposed Christmas tree was even sighted on top of a snowbank in Dorchester. Christmas was 2 months ago. A New Hampshire teenager is hospitalized this morning after falling 25 feet through a skylight while shoveling snow off a roof. The unidentified 17-year-old was working as part of a snow clearing crew. According to a coworker, he slipped on the roof and fell onto the already cracked skylight. His fall was apparently broken by the coat racks underneath, and he was taken to Beth Israel Medical Center in Boston. His condition is still unknown.
There is a verdict in the trial of the Texas man accused of shooting the so-called American sniper and another veteran. Eddie Ray Routh, a former Marine, is facing life imprisonment without parole for the shooting of Chris Kyle. CNN's Andrew Spencer has this report on the verdict reached overnight.
We're so thrilled that we have the verdict that we have tonight.
For the mother of Chad Littlefield, one of the two men shot and killed on a Texas firing range, the verdict has been a long time coming.
We've waited 2 years for God to get justice for us on behalf of our son.
In the trial of Eddie Ray Routh, the jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before returning their verdict to the judge.
We, the jury, find the defendant Eddie Ray Routh guilty of the felony offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
The judge then sentenced Routh to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The recent popularity of the war movie American Sniper has drawn massive attention to the case because the film depicts the other victim, former Navy SEAL Chris Kyle, and is based on his autobiography. During the trial, Kyle's wife described seeing him for the last time.
We just said we loved each other and gave each other a kiss and a hug like we always did.
Routh, while being questioned by police, would later admit killing both Kyle and Littlefield.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the families? Yeah, I'm just sorry for what I've done.
In closing arguments on Tuesday, Routh's attorneys said he was insane at the time of the shootings, but prosecutors insisted he still knew right from wrong. Even with a conviction, though, one question remains unanswered. Why did Eddie Ray Routh turn on the two men trying to help him? I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Interesting that the jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. A Massachusetts teen charged with murder considers using insanity plea. The lawyers of Philip Chasm, a 16-year-old who is facing charges for raping and killing his high school math teacher, are mulling an insanity defense. The Salem News reported that Denise Regan, the boy's lawyer, may also request the trial, now set for October 7th, be moved out of Essex County. Chasm was 14 when the incident took place.
In the Aaron Hernandez trial, prosecutors played video surveillance of his fiancée taking a trash bag from the basement to a car the day after the victim was killed. Carlos Ortiz, a Hernandez acquaintance, told police that after the murder, Hernandez put guns in a box in his basement. Prosecutors have said his fiancée then disposed of the garbage after receiving a coded text from Hernandez. The murder weapon still has not been found. In the Saranev trial, the judge is allowing self-appointed supporters of the alleged bomber to protest outside the courthouse. Saranev's attorneys have argued that these rallies would associate their client with the protesters' conspiracy theories and could sway jurors. The decision to allow the protest was apparently made in December during a closed hearing, but was made public Tuesday. There's no written explanation for this decision. Forum Restaurant, a building destroyed in the marathon bombing, will be closing its doors permanently next week. After the bombing, Forum closed for reconstruction for 4 months, making it the last business to reopen after the attack. According to the company, the construction costs, coupled with the rent hike, have made it financially impossible to sustain the restaurant. Saturday will be Forum's last business day.
Lawyers for Bill Cosby say they will ask a federal judge this week to throw out the defamation lawsuit filed against the comedian in Springfield. The 3 women bringing the suit accused Cosby of having sexually assaulted them in the 70s. The women filed the defamation suit by claiming Cosby and his representatives made statements that labeled them as liars to the public. Though the statute of limitations has run out in the sexual assault cases of these women, Cosby's lawyers say this civil action is being used as a way to still have their allegations heard. Coming up in BU News is Noon, find out which airline reportedly has issues with inspection.
Where would you go to get away from all this snow? We'll let you know where when BU TV News continues.
Body language. without saying a word. It can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say. Take care, people, for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Southwest is canceling more flights today after grounding 128 Boeing 737 jets Tuesday after the airline admitted they had missed a series of mandatory inspections on their planes. Federal officials allowed Southwest to continue flying the planes as long as they received inspections within the next 5 days. A spokesperson for Southwest said they expected to be done with a majority of the inspections by this morning. The inspections are to check the plane's secondary hydraulic system, which serves as a backup to the primary system in the event of a failure. Southwest says they immediately grounded these planes and notified the Federal Aviation Administration upon realizing their oversight. With spring break just a week away, reporter Haley Crumbleholm asked students how they'll be spending their vacations.
With over 7.5 feet of snow hitting Boston already this winter and more to come, it seems spring break can't get here soon enough. I took to the streets of BU to ask students what their plans are for the break.
Going down to Panama City Beach, Florida with a bunch of my friends. We've got like 5 or 6 cars driving down. We're gonna stop at UNC on the way. We've got some friends there.
I signed up for an alternative service break really impulsively. Like I saw the listing and made the decision within like 30 seconds. So I'm going to New York and working with LGBT elders and teens with HIV.
My boss emailed me and was like, to all the employees asking where we're gonna go for spring break, and I told him nowhere, and he asked if I wanted to work, so I'm gonna work like 30 hours this week.
Next week we're going to the British Virgin Islands and picking up a sailboat and going to be sailing around the islands during BU spring break.
What are most students looking forward to?
Escaping the cold for sure. It's been really cold and I miss the warmth.
Getting away from the snow is like my most important to me.
Though we may not all be getting a break from the snow, at least we're all getting a break from school. For BU TV News at noon, I'm Haley Crumbleholm.
Thanks, Haley. With more flurries expected next week, I'm sure those students will be thrilled they're headed for warmer weather.
The Department of Homeland Security could shut down as soon as Friday if Congress can't reach an agreement on funding and may cause the department employees to continue working without a guarantee of getting paid. Congress agrees that money for the department should be authorized. The clash comes over how. The House passed a funding bill that would withhold money for the President's executive action on immigration. The bill has failed in the Senate 4 times. Democrats say they're willing to debate on immigration. The Obama administration.
There are a lot of issues we would like to debate. It's something that is full of great amendments that we want to offer. But we're not going to do that until the Department of Homeland Security is funded.
A real possibility and would pose a threat to national security. Anthem, the second largest health insurance company in the US, plans to individually notice in the next few weeks the close to 1 million Massachusetts customers whose personal information is at risk or stolen in the security breach. CEO Joseph Swedish, whose private information was also taken, tells those affected that officials are working tirelessly to identify the perpetrator and secure everyone's data. Anthem will inform through mail if your information was jeopardized. Those affected will be provided with identity protection.
We already knew about the hack involving Anthem Healthcare, but now we're learning about how big it really is.
An insurance company that has 80 million potential personal records. There's tremendous value on the black market for information like that.
At first, the insurance giant downplayed the New England impact, but now there are numbers, staggering ones at that. In Massachusetts, 967,000 current and past Anthem subscribers are at risk. In the Granite State, the number stands at 668,000, including Blue Cross Blue Shield members who use their benefits out of state.
The data that was stolen is really all the elements that you need to create credit.
And that includes names, social security numbers, birth dates, contact information, and employment data.
The hackers always find a way. They will always find a way.
The FBI wants people to be aware that hackers can use the information to impersonate family and friends. Anthem customers should be extremely cognizant of their financial affairs until the state can further address the breach. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh revokes the Olympic gag order, allowing more open communication about the proposed games. Mayor Walsh rescinded the deal he had with the US Olympic Committee that previously banned city employees from voicing their opinions regarding the city's bid to host the games. After self-criticizing the gag order, he says city workers can now voice any concerns or ideas about Boston as a potential host.
At least 85 people are confirmed dead after an avalanche in northeastern Afghanistan. Authorities are blaming heavy snowstorms. At least 100 homes are destroyed. Local officials are asking for emergency assistance to prevent more deaths. Still to come on BU News at noon, see which basketball superstar is going to be out for possibly another season.
Also, which Red Sox star showed up to spring training looking much better? We'll have answers for you when we return.
I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to BUTV 10's News at Noon. Alex, it's been a busy week in sports.
Busy like a bee, Nikita. Basketball, Beanpot, and Bruins, that is a lot of bees. But before we get started in the swarm of news, I'm going to talk about the Red Sox spring training camp. Warm weather is right around the corner. Hope springs eternal for Red Sox fans as we watch our boys of the fall getting ready. David Ortiz has arrived at training camp, and man is he looking fit, unlike his new amigo, Pablo Sandoval. Manager John Farrell had this to say.
I think anytime David walks through the room, it lightens it up, it brings an energy. He looks in great shape. Had a chance to talk with him earlier when he first got in here this morning. He's full go and a major part of everything that we do.
The 39-year-old hopes to continue to play at an all-star level. General Manager Ben Cherington said, quote, David is going to be a Red Sox as long as he wants to be a Red Sox. In other Sox news, prize Cuban teenager Yohan Moncada arrived this morning in Florida to take his physical. For Bruins fans, the trade deadline can't get here fast enough. The Bees will be looking to add some help Friday, and some names to keep an eye on are Buffalo Sabres' Chris Stewart, Columbus Blue Jackets' Cam Atkinson, and Dallas Stars' Eric Cole. They could have used that help last night against the Vancouver Canucks. Carl Soderberg puts one in front of the net, and in the scramble, Daniel Paille gets his stick on it, and into the net it goes. Just his second goal of the season. 2 minutes later, Jannik Hansen finds Ryan Stanton, who launches one past Tuukka Rask for the equalizer. The Canucks did not look back from there as Zach Hyacin fires one in off the post, leaving the Bruins deflated and losers of 7 of the last 8. They face off against the New Jersey Devils Friday night, hopefully with some new faces as they make a playoff push. Otherwise, GM Peter Chiarelli's hot seat might actually catch fire. Victory is in the air and apparently floating around campus bars. The Beanpot Tournament trophy is back on campus after a very close championship game. Reporter Callum McLaughlin was at the Garden and with the team taking a close look at Monday night's action.
For the first time since 2009, the Beanpot Trophy has returned to BU. The Boston University Terriers defeated the Northeastern Huskies 4-3 in the 63rd Beanpot title. Scoring the Terriers their first goal of the evening, Mike Moran shot past Northeastern goaltender Clay Witt for a goal in period 1. Keeping the crowd on their feet, the Huskies retaliated with a goal from John Stevens. But Robbie Belargi and Matt Grislick scored goals in the second period, giving BU a 3-1 lead heading into the third period.
BU's awesome. We're up 3-1 right now. We're definitely going to win the Beanpot. Eichel's amazing. Number 3 in the country, baby. Let's go, BU! Yeah!
Back came Northeastern, tying the score with less than 10 minutes left in the third period. Kevin Roy and Dustin DeRue whipped shots past BU goalie Matt O'Connor.
We're down, but we're not out. We're never out. We're great at coming from behind. It's fine. 2 goals, nothing. Dude. You guys are ranked or not, but we always come from behind.
The Gordons outplayed Grislick, ripping the final goal past Witt 51 seconds into overtime. The Terriers brought home more than just a trophy. They brought back huge bragging rights.
I think there's a lot of bragging rights that come from the Beanpot. Find who's the king of Boston. I know it's only a two-game tournament, but everyone seems to care a lot about it, and we really enjoy the fans and all the support.
The fans were instrumental to the victory as well.
Absolutely.
You know, fans are just as important, you know. If our goalie's the 6th player on the ice, we consider them the 7th man, and their presence was felt. And we, like I said, we definitely felt it throughout the Garden and throughout all of us, from the first to the second to the third.
You want to play well in front of them. You don't want to let them down. You just, you want to win the game for them and for the BU community. And I think it really motivates us. It feels really good to win this championship with a good group of guys. But with that being said, I think we have a lot of work to do, and this is the first of many. I think our team has high expectations for ourselves, and this isn't the only piece of hardware that we want to bring back to ComAv.
After winning the Beanpot tonight, the Boston University Terriers will use their momentum to take on the Northeastern Huskies again on Friday and Saturday to close out the regular season. Reporting from TD Garden for Boston University News at Noon, I'm Callum McLaughlin.
Hopefully those Terriers will finish their season strong and bring home the Patriot League trophy as well. I'm definitely looking forward to their games this weekend. The Celtics will be looking to make it 2 straight as they tip off tonight against the bottom feeders of the league, the New York Knicks. They hope to be riding the hot hand as newcomer Isaiah Thomas, who has no relation to Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. The newly acquired Celtics guard name comes from his father losing a bet during the 1989 Detroit Pistons championship run, which the Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas was a part of. Since the acquisition, the Celtics have averaged a blistering 117 points per game. The big ticket, the kid, KG, Kevin Garnett. But instead will be helping the very young players grow up from Cubs to Timberwolves. Garnett is the all-time leader for the franchise in just about every category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Let's listen in.
Playing days, but I think I have so much more to bring, and this is the perfect situation. This is full circle right here.
Garnett will be donning his new Timberwolves jersey tonight when he takes the floor against another former Celtic, Paul Pierce, and his Washington Wizards. While sports fans love to see rival teams plummet in the standings, no one wants to see it because of an injury. Chicago Bulls superstar Derrick Rose has torn his meniscus in the right knee and will undergo surgery again. This is the third meniscus tear that Rose has suffered in his short career. The former NBA MVP has missed over 150 games since 2011 and is now set to miss the remaining 25 games of the season. Our prayers are with him. You really feel for a guy like that, so much talent and only 26 years old.
Hopefully with the progress that the doctors have made in sports, Rose will be able to bounce back.
You're right. I mean, look at OKC's Russell Westbrook. He has 3 meniscus tears, and now he's having an MVP-type season.
Well, we wish him the best going forward. Thank you, Alex. Is love at first sight, or at least love at sight? There are smiles all around after a blind man regains his vision. Minnesota man Alan finally sees his wife Carmen after 10 years of darkness. He can now see objects and faces with help from special black glasses and eye implants. Still to come, we'll see how long this bitter cold will last. You'll never believe what got stuck in a storm drain in Florida this week. That and more after the break.
Okay. Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
With Boston getting over 7.5 feet of snow this winter and now some cold temps too, we keep asking ourselves, when is spring? Paul has more on the weather and this snow. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Lauren. 23 days until spring, by the way. First off, I want to show you exactly what 100 inches looks like, okay? So there's your standard foot right there. Now let's throw this out a little bit more, and that's about 50, so double that. and that's how much snow we've gotten in Boston. Can you believe it? Boston reaching the #2 spot on the list of all-time snowiest winters. The winter, not the summer of 95, is still locked at the first place. You can see here, 95 at 107.6 inches. Last night's snowfall was actually very light in comparison. You can see here Barnstable at 4.2, Bourne getting in on the action at 3.8, Taunton at 3.7, New Bedford at 3, and 2.5 in Nantucket. Greater Boston with just about an inch. That's nothing if you've been here the last few months. Still, it was enough to surpass the 100-inch mark for the winter. A few preschools along the Cape have had some slight delays this morning, but nothing too serious. The last bit of snow is actually going to be heading up the coast here and getting on out in towards Maine. But as the storm moves on, temperatures are staying below freezing. Right now, you can see it might be a little slippery as those icy roads are there, and it might be right to bring an extra layer. The winds are going to pick up too this afternoon, a high of 20 miles per hour, so you got to be aware of that. And this afternoon, temperatures will be rising up a bit to 34 degrees and 35 degrees in Marshfield. And I don't know if you call it a heat wave, but we'll take it. Keep in mind that with the warmer temperatures, that means there could be some melting. But, and there is always a but, it seems like these days, it's not going to last long. There is a low of 20 degrees coming, and the high is going to be 10 degrees tomorrow, lower than it is right now. We're also seeing a storm system that's going to be heading up along the coast here, and that's going to cause some cloud coverage. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast here. So Wednesday here, you've got some warmer weather, but it is not going to last. Cloudy and snow flurries along the Cape. Looking towards Friday, it's going to be very cold. Saturday, going to get some sun, and then also look at this on Monday. Can you believe that? 40 degrees. I'm not sure if you bring those shorts and sandals out just yet, but remember, 23 more days until spring. But Lauren, with 100 inches of snow, spring couldn't come soon enough, am I right? For Boston, it's been really tough. For me, it's forced me to grow this winter beard, which nobody likes. So, but some good skiing though, right?
Yeah, that's right, Paul. That's right, Paul. Today, all your major ski resorts are open, of course, with plenty of snow. Butternut has packed powder, and so does Ski Ward and Neshoba Valley. Now, let's take a look at some snow sculptures and a creative indoor way to beat the weather. And what happened to manatees simply trying to find warmer waters? CNN's Ryan Noble has a story.
It sounds like a joke. How do you find 19 manatees in a drain pipe?
There's still the big one down there. There's several big ones.
The manatees in Satellite Beach, Florida were apparently looking for warmer water. They followed each other into a drain pipe, then couldn't turn around. But you can't remove a manatee clog with Drano. Thus began the Great Manatee Rescue. Rescuers managed to coax a few out.
They just guided another one out.
But most, like this big guy, girl, who knows, had to be lifted in a sling dangling off an earth mover. As spectators cheered, pipe had to be cut, water had to be vacuumed away. Mother and her calf were the first ones out.
280, number 1, female.
Number 3 was labeled with spray paint. Each manatee was loaded into a truck.
1, 2, 3.
Where SeaWorld and local rescuers kept them in place as casually as if they were lying on couches. The operation stretched into the middle of the night. When the last of the 19 was rescued.
Oh, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Despite a few cuts, all of the manatees were well enough to be released back into a nearby waterway. And speaking of things that ended up where they didn't belong, a 39-foot boat drove right into a waterfront restaurant. It happened directly across the state from the manatee rescue in Ruskin, Florida. Diners were enjoying early dinner at the Sunset Grill when this 4-engine boat came crashing into the restaurant in dense fog. The fire department estimated the boat was doing 40 to 50 miles per hour, yet no one was badly hurt. Let's end with a multiple choice quiz. Which is more dense? A, the fog. B, the person driving the boat 40 to 50 miles per hour in the fog. Or C, the manatees that followed each other up a drain pipe too small to turn around in. B, the boat driver. The manatees may be dense, but they're endangered. They don't endanger us. Jeannie Mo, CNN.
Whoa, big fella. Whoa.
New York.
And that's it for BUTV News at Noon. I'm Lauren Westberg.
And I'm Nikita Sampath. Thanks for watching. Stay warm and stay sane. Have a good day.